Welcome to the show, everyone. Tonight we're going to discuss a little bit about the Bellaire Big Reds, who are currently 1-0, tomorrow night's opponent. Kind of my favorite shows to put on, Coach, is last week was a recap. This week we're going to have a couple Seminole football players.
That's right. That's the reason we do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's great to be able to spend a little time with those kids, learn a little bit about them before the show, and talk to them during the course. But before we get into that, we're sitting in a little different position than we were this time last year, Coach. Because last year we started the season with a loss, and this year we picked up a win last Friday night. So congratulations on that. I know it takes a lot of weight off your shoulders getting that first one, and that first game to me, and I'm sure to you guys, is always important. They're all important, but that first win, week one, it's pretty important. Kind of sets the tone for this locker room.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last year, don't want to talk about it too much, but yeah, you don't want to start out, especially when you think you're going to get a win, and then it just changes. But I thought coming out this year, this was an important game for us, and we talked about that, and this locker room, these coaches knew how important it was, to get a win starting on the season. So yeah, it was a good atmosphere, and like you said, moving forward, it just helps the team. It helps the team as you go getting that first win.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It was, we kind of feared for the field a little bit. It was so dang soft out there. Didn't want anyone to get hurt. And quite frankly, the field today is in pretty decent shape for what it was put up against last Friday night.
Yeah, I agree.
So, there are a few divots out there, but nothing we can't take care of for certain. Defensively, pretty solid game through three quarters last week. And then, that fourth quarter. Of course, we had some younger guys in, getting them some experience, some playing time. But offensively, we ran the ball extremely well. We passed the ball extremely well. We may have missed a few passes here and there, but I'm very pleased with the outcome, of course, because it's a W. But the kids played great.
Yeah, the field was definitely wet and soft and things like that, but it did hold up. It held up pretty well. But no, we for a first game, was it perfect? No, but we also had 400 total yards, almost 400 total yards. 33 points, had a shutout until we started subbing. But those guys, that's what football's for.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get those younger guys reps when you're up, I'm not going to try to rub it in people's face or anything like that. So, it's a team game. It's a team effort Monday through Thursday. So you want to get those guys playing time. But, yeah, before we start subbing, I think they had about a negative 14 yards at half. 0 points, obviously, and then before we start subbing, I think they had about a negative 2 total yards. So yeah, in my 4 years here, I think that was probably one of the best efforts defensively that I've seen. Scheme-wise, with the coaches, they've come up with really good scheme this year, and honestly, just the kids believing in it, flying to the ball, I watched. And it wasn't every time. It wasn't 100%. There were still some plays, and I think you're going to have that here and there. But, man, for the most part, you see black helmets just flying around the ball, and, it wasn't just the one or two. It was a whole group of guys there, a black wall they had hit, of helmets and black jerseys. So I was really impressed with the defense, really, really impressed.
Yeah, and it was a team effort, not, of course, Corbin had a great game and broke the sack record, and congratulations to him. But there were 3 or 4 people that had 7 tackles, a handful that had 6, a handful that had 5. So, it just wasn't, one individual. And the same way on offense, Coop threw the ball well, ran the ball well. Jet threw the ball extremely well.
Yeah.
2 for 2.
Yeah, 2 for 2.
I ran the ball well. Bentley ran the ball well.
Yeah.
And then Max, you throw in Max,
Maddox and
Maddox
Corbin
had a touchdown. Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah, it was a great team win.
It was.
Great team win.
Yeah, we definitely moved the ball well, on offense, and like you said, we got the ball kind of a lot of guys, shared the ball. And that's what you want. You want to be able to kind of get a lot of people involved so they can't key on one guy. I love the effort on both sides of the ball. Are there things we need to clean up? Yes, there are, of course. But I think for a week one with the sloppy field and a wet ball and things like that, I thought we played extremely well.
Yeah. So what's the future outlook with Liberty Union? Was this just a couple people had asked me and I wasn't 100% sure.
Right.
Is this just a 2-year home and away agreement, or are we going to continue to play?
As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to keep playing it.
Yeah.
That's up to them. Their coach mentioned to me last year he wanted it to be long term. They're in our region. It is a trip. Don't get me wrong. It's a couple-hour trip, but it's straight up the interstate for the most part. So it's hard to find teams. We've talked about it. 6 teams in 3 years here that we've dropped, and the teams are getting farther and farther away. And I think it's a nice matchup for us. And like I said, it's in their first-class program. If anybody wasn't up there last year, their field's grass, and it's one of the better grass fields. Their facility was nice. Their locker rooms, their coaches were extremely. They told you what was going on. They fed the kids. Like I said, it's first-class program. So as far as I'm concerned, we're going to keep playing.
Good deal.
Yeah.
What do you think, Coach? That's enough on Liberty Union, huh? We got to move on.
That's right. We got to worry about next week.
Yeah. Now before we jump into tomorrow night's opponent, the Bellaire Big Reds, let's take a short break. Folks, we'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll be back with our first guest of the evening, Bentley Lucas. Welcome back to the show, everyone. We're here with our first guest of the evening, number 5, Bentley Lucas. Bentley, welcome to the show, bud.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a big win last Friday night.
Thank you.
We look forward to a lot more of those here in the future. But before we dive real deep into this, not only are you new to Monroe Central, but you're new to this program. Last year you played for River, and after watching you out there Friday night, we're dang good glad to have you. That's for certain.
Yep.
And I guess no one's more happier than your grandpa JD too.
Yeah.
So how's your experience been so far at Monroe Central?
Pretty good. Love the people, love the coaches. Overall, great program.
Yeah. Yeah. How about relationships, locker room? I'm sure, coming inside this locker room as a first-year player and maybe not necessarily knowing everyone. I'm sure everyone, was cordial, took you under their wings.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Like I said, man, glad to have you. This, after watching you last Friday night on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, you did a lot of blocking, but you also carried the ball 4 times, and one of those runs was a very hard run, and I could see the excitement on the sideline that they expected that out of you,
Yep.
and you definitely showed it. Defensively, you had 4 tackles, including 1 big sack as well. So plenty to be excited about. So what's your thoughts?
Overall, pretty happy. It's not enough though. Keep working hard.
Yeah. I'm sure it's been a learning curve, coming here.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned before, learning new people, but now you have a different offense, you have a different defensive scheme, you have different coaches. What's it been for you like so far? I mean, I'm sure there's some things that have been maybe a little bit difficult, to try to grasp. But explain a couple of those if you would.
Defensive scheme is definitely probably my biggest hard to learn things.
Mm-hmm. All right, it's early in the season, we know that, but if there were 2 things as a football player that you would like to improve on moving forward through the rest of the regular season, what would they be?
I'd say probably reading offenses and working on my speed.
Yeah. Coach, it honestly, watching him out there, it's just like, he'd played here,
Yeah.
Last year. I thought he did a tremendous job. I've heard a lot about this kid, JD's, a sideliner, helps paint the field. He's all around. He's around for, everything we do for you kids, and he speaks very highly of you, of course. But I was excited to see you on the field, and like I said, great effort, man, great effort. So next week against Bellaire, you weren't here with us last year, but the team was physical and full of talent and a lot of speed, and Seems like Pettigrew spent more time in the end zone than the sideline for certain, but I'm sure we're going to get that taken care of. What do we need to do offensively tomorrow night to move the ball?
Stay with our assignments, keep the run game going.
Yeah, and that's, the run game I thought was very strong last week. You were involved in it, and Jet was involved in it, and Cooper was involved in it. Not just a one-man show out there. So,
Right.
yeah, like you said, everybody sticks to their assignment, and things are going to come together. And we seen that last Friday. Defensively, what do we need to do?
Just got to read their offense.
Yeah, and like I said, he's not the only player out there for Bellaire, but he sure is explosive, and they've got a good quarterback and a hard runner as well. So, I'm sure these coaches have put together a great game plan, and just study it, man.
Yep.
Figure it out. Watch film. You and I talked before the show, and you've watched film because you and I were talking about tendencies of that offense, and that's great that those were pointed out from a young defensive back. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Coach, you got anything else on Bentley?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned you heard about him, and of course I heard about him from JD and his uncle. I coached his uncle back in junior high, so I heard quite a bit about the kid, and we want him to come here. And heck, I thought we had him locked down there a couple of years ago, and he went down the river for a year and came back here. Was really happy when I heard he was coming back. Still didn't really know the kid, but man, as the summer progressed, got to know the kid and. Just willing to kind of do whatever it takes. And he told me that, he's not worried about, we got a lot of skilled guys. He's not worried about getting the ball 10 or 15 times. I'm sure he would like the ball 10 or 15 times,
right.
But he's never complained about anything. I put him at fullback here and there, and he said he loved fullback. You know what I mean? That's just the kind of kid he is. Willing to kind of do any position anywhere we need. I told him that coming in. I'm going to probably put you in pretty much every single position on the field offensively, besides line. I haven't put him in line yet. But anyhow, he came in with that attitude in the summer. He was willing to learn, and you could tell the kids played a lot of football. You could just tell he had a knack for things, whether he didn't know the offense or didn't know the defense. You could tell he had a knack, for what was going on. So I'm interested to see how he does this Friday, but through the season and honestly the next 3 years here at Monroe Central, because I really think, this sophomore class is a really good class, and he's going to be a big part of it. And I can really see him being one of the, the better players, or not the best player to go through Monroe Central. That's what I can see in him, just because of his work ethic and the way he comes to practice every day.
Yeah. It's pretty cool words there. You got some work to do.
Yep. He really does. He's got it in there. I mean, like I said, he wants it. You can tell the kid loves football. I mean, and you can't teach that. You can't coach that. If you don't love football, it's tough to be good at it. So he really does love it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to see that he's made great relationships with kids in this locker room, because it's just not being here last year and coming right in and contributing and seeing him with friends
and he really does seem to embrace the locker room. I mean, I see him kind of talking to all the guys and hanging out and joking, laughing.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty good sense of humor too. So he fits right in. He fit right in really from day one, it seemed like it. So that's great to see, not only for him, but it's good to see that these kids are embracing other kids that they don't know. They didn't really know him, maybe just heard of him. But so it's good to see that out of all of the kids.
Yeah, it's awesome. Listen, Bentley, thanks for taking time out of your evening to spend with us.
You're welcome.
Pleasure watching you out there last Friday, and I continue to watch you grow, or I want to watch you grow, and you're going to, because I think you have that work ethic, you have the build. You're going to be one heck of a football player here.
Thank you.
Just hang in there, stick with it, and get in that weight room.
Yep.
And then next week when school starts, you keep them grades up. Okay.
That's right.
Now it's time to put Jace through the gauntlet. You think he can handle this?
Oh yeah.
You think? We'll find out. All right, let's take a short break, and when we return, we'll have our second guest of the evening, number 15, Jace Stevens. Welcome back to the show, everyone. We're here with our second guest of the evening, number 15, Jace Stevens. Jace, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a big win last Friday night. You played a pretty big part defensively in the win and slowing down their offense. As a matter of fact, you finished with 7 total tackles and 2 CBLs. What'd you see out there?
Really, throughout the week when we were drilling, Coach Kramer helped us what we saw and what we needed to be, where we needed to be. Really helped us pushing through and making the play and getting tackles for loss, stopping them, getting the offense in,
Yeah.
scoring.
Yeah, very solid game defensively. So last year, you've seen a lot of playing time as well, particularly in the Caldwell game. You and Carter both were kind of thrown in there into the fire. But I've noticed that you've grown a lot mentally and physically. How did all that take place there in the off season?
Really, from last year going into this year, last year really showed me what the speed and how tough it was going to be on varsity level. Going into the season, it was a little nerve-wracking, but after the first play of the game, all the nerves were gone. I was ready to go. In the off season now, Coach Shu helped me get stronger, get faster, and get ready for the season.
Yeah, it's high school football is quite a bit different than junior high.
Oh, yeah.
And you've seen that
100%.
mid-season last year kind of thrown in there out to the wolves, but heck of a good job, and you've continued to be a solid part of this defense. Let's talk about some of your teammates. Like, this team's senior heavy, and you're a sophomore, and we're very sophomore heavy too. It seems like as these sophomores, you guys are a pretty tight knit group. I'm sure you guys have played together for years, right?
Yeah, we started playing together around 6th grade. That's when we did pretty good that year, and then we went in the junior high. We did decent that year, and then went 8th grade. 8th grade is when we really started to connect, and everything started to go flow. And then we floated in the freshman, showed off a lot, and then we're looking good.
Yeah, looking extremely good. Extremely good. And then apparently a lot of you kids spend a lot of time in the weight room too, because they just look different out there this year. You know what I mean?
They do. Yep.
Playing physical, playing hard. Not just the sophomore group, but the entire team noticed a big difference in that. Let's talk a little bit about leadership. When you lose seniors, and we didn't lose very many last year, but we still lost some quality football players. And every year, you don't have to be a senior to be a leader on this football team. I'm sure you guys know that. But, every year you lose some leadership. So let's talk about that a little bit. Who stepped up on this team so far this year?
Someone that really stepped up for me, especially, would be Ashton Labatis. He really helped me easing my way into D-end and helping me a lot with how to play it and how to be more physical. And then Max usually calm, sits down and tells you. He'll be easy with you when you mess up, and he'll ease your way back into the play. Mm-hmm. And then you have Owen. Owen's like my dad. He'll yell at you, but he means well. He's trying to get you, make the team better, and let everyone do good.
Yeah, and you spoke right there of all 3 of those kids are seniors, so it's great that we have senior leadership, and you guys are going to learn from that, because you're a sophomore now, but eventually you're going to be an upperclassman, and you're going to be one of those guys going to have to take over. So take in all you can from those guys. Okay, bud, on to week 2 against Bellaire. We know they're explosive. They're a hard-hitting football team. We've seen how explosive they were here last year, right?
Yeah.
So at number 22, he's all over the field and spent a lot of time in the end zone when he was up here last year. So
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. So what do we need to do to slow him down tomorrow night?
I think we really just need to get him rattled at the start of the game. Don't let him get his rhythm going into it. Like, especially on kickoff, if we let him kick it to him and let him get going, it'll definitely be a problem. But as long as we shut him down from the get-go, we'll be fine.
Yeah. And I'm sure these coaches have watched many hours of highlights, or not highlights, but highlights of last week's game, because he he had a heck of a game last
Yeah,
week.
yeah,
you
he
know.
did. Yeah, he
What
had
do
some
you-
highlights, a couple punt returns. And
Yeah.
we'll get into that later.
Yeah. So not just not just offensively, the kids are just all over the field. So I'm sure these guys have a great game plan that you've worked on all week, and you'll be more than prepared tomorrow night. Coach, you got anything on Jace?
Yeah, Jace is just always comes in here with a workman type attitude, even in the off season, especially this off season. He's a wrestler, pretty good at that as well, and came in this off season ready to go. And he's been a backer. You've been a linebacker pretty much your whole life, through youth and junior high, and made the transition to defensive end this year. And we weren't quite sure if he would take to it or, but I'll tell you what, he's embraced defensive end. I think he's come to really love it, and he pays attention to what's going on. Coach Kramer does a good job with him teaching him, and he kind of watches the other guys, Corbin and stuff. But he's really embraced that defensive end position and the scheme we're doing with it, and he seems to love it. And like I said, that wrestling has helped, getting the leverage and dipping under, and he's one of the better tacklers on the team. Honestly, I think it's because of the wrestling and the weight room. Like I said, this year he really hit the weight room, had a goal to get certain size, certain weight, and I think he was pretty close to that. So, he's worked hard since he got in here. I think if he didn't work hard, his dad would chew his butt out. So, so I don't think I ever have a problem with him not working hard or putting the work in or, anything like that. So, and not just because of his dad. I'm just joking about that. The kid's just a good worker. Mm-hmm. So, I look forward to seeing this the rest of the year with, as he progresses as a defensive end. Like I said, he's only been doing it this summer.
Right. And
he's already, 7 tackles, 2 CBLs, a couple close sacks. So as he gets better and more comfortable with that position, I think he's going to get better and better this year.
Yeah. I think what I really like about Jace in particular is, there's 30 kids on this football team, and you're not here if you're uncoachable. I think every one of these kids are coachable, and for him to take that step and first year at defensive end, at the varsity level, I think that's tremendous. Speaks volumes for yourself, buddy.
Yeah. Speaking of being coachable, you might even see him at center here and there. We're low on numbers. Everybody knows that, and we're really thin on the line. With Ashton's injury, and even makes us even thinner. So we were kind of joking about it, putting him at center. He said, "I'll do it. And that's the kind of kid you're talking about right there. Coachable kid, the kind of kid that just wants to win ball games. He doesn't care if he's 15 or 51. So, but anyhow, that's the kind of kid he is. And we're serious about maybe, seeing what he can do at center, if injury comes. Yeah. So, but you got to love those kind of kids.
Yeah, absolutely. You've had a few in your 4
We
years.
have. You have to with the small school. You have to with the small
You've
roster.
had a couple kids with 2 jerseys.
He's going to have 2 jerseys Friday night. So.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Jace, pleasure talking to you, man. Great spending time with you before the show. That's where I learn a lot about these kids too, Coach. Get in here early and sit down and you hash back and forth and
see if they're nervous kids or if they're not nervous kids.
Yeah, well, he was nervous, but I think he did a great job.
He did a great job.
He did a really good job. Yeah. Listen, buddy, we really appreciate you taking time out of your evening and spending it with us here. And best of luck to you tomorrow night and for the rest of the season as well. Continue the hard work, bud. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's take a short break, and when we return, we'll go over some of the highlights of last week's Liberty Union football game. We start off the night with an onside kick.
Great kick from Jet and great hustle by the entire kick unit.
A host of Seminoles with a stop in the backfield.
Great penetration by our front line, and we get the tackle for a loss.
Corbin and Cooper get the stop for no gain.
Corbin squeezes the play down, and Cooper does a great job of coming up from his safety spot to get the stop.
Cooper Howe with a 9-yard run on first down.
Great blocks all the way across and hard running from Cooper.
Jet Kaiser up the middle for 16 yards.
Great seal blocks from Emory Howard, Baker, and Corbin, allowing for the big gain.
Jace Stevens with a stop for no gain.
Jace showing his toughness and getting the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Cooper Howe to Max Demchek for the Noles' first touchdown of the night.
A great throw from Cooper allows Max to get the easy catch on the run for the touchdown.
Liberty Union runs into a wall of black.
Great push up front, and great to see so many black helmets flying to the ball.
Cooper hits Jet for 22 yards.
Here we throw a little bubble screen and get some good blocks outside and a hard run by Jet.
Another screen to Jet for another big gain.
Jet makes a couple of defenders miss and picks up the big gain.
Jet Kaiser to Max Demchek for a seminal touchdown.
We run a halfback pass and it works to perfection.
Braden Baker with a tackle for a loss.
Baker does a great job of shedding his blocker, getting down the line, and getting the stop.
Another wall of black jerseys and helmets.
Again, great push up front for no gain.
Jet Kaiser with a 21-yard gain.
Great blocks by Corbin and Emery, allowing for the big gain.
Cooper Howe gets around the end for an 18-yard gain.
Great blocks from Corbin, Owen, and Max, and Cooper does the rest.
Cooper scrambles and finds Corbin Farnsworth for a first down.
Great job by both players of staying alive and making the play.
Another screen to Jet for big yards.
Once again, great blocks outside, allowing for the big play.
Cooper Howe runs it in from 5 yards out.
Hard running from Cooper gets him in the end zone.
Jace Stevens with another stop at the line of scrimmage.
Great play by Jace, getting inside the blocker and making the play.
Corbin makes a great play on a bad snap.
Liberty Union has a bad snap on the punt, and Corbin chases him down for the big loss.
Cooper Howe with a 17-yard touchdown run.
Great pancake blocks from the Howard brothers, and Coop goes in untouched.
Jet Kaiser with a tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Great patience from Jet, and he gets the stop for no gain.
Jace Stevens and a host of Seminoles with a tackle for a loss.
Jace once again at the right place, making a play.
Corbin chases down the ball carrier.
Unbelievable hustle and effort from Corbin.
Gabe Ing with a pass deflection.
Ing does a great job of going up and breaking up the pass.
Max Demchek makes something out of nothing.
Great awareness and moves from Max allows him to get the first down.
Bentley Lucas with a 20-yard gain on the ground.
Bentley shows his hard running and gets the big gain.
Maddox Henderson with a tackle in the backfield.
Great job by Maddox of coming off the edge, filling the lane, and getting the stop.
Corbin Farnsworth with his first sack of the night.
Both Jace and Corbin come hard off the edge, and Corbin gets the sack.
Cooper to Max for a big gain through the air.
Great focus and concentration by Max to make the catch along the sidelines.
Jet Kaiser to Max Demchek for another hookup.
We ran another halfback pass, and it fooled them again.
Cooper Howe to Maddox Henderson for a 25-yard touchdown reception.
We run a bootleg, and Cooper throws a perfect pass to Maddox.
Bentley Lucas and Corbin Farnsworth team up for a quarterback sack.
Great hustle by both, allowing Corbin to get the sack to break the record.
When we return, we will preview this week's opponent, the Bellaire Big Reds. Welcome back, everyone. All right, Coach, week 1 is behind us. 1-0, we got to move on. Week 2 against Bellaire Big Reds, who also 1-0, put up some points against Buckeye Local, and we know what they have as far as athletes. So I'm sure you got your hands full tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, I think, what was it, 43-13 against Buckeye Local. They definitely put up some points. I think most of those points are in the first half. Then they start putting their twos in and things like that. Their line's pretty good. They got a pretty good running back, really. But their main guy is number 22, Pettigrew. You know, I mean, he's a dude. He's going to be the fastest guy on the field, probably pretty much anybody he plays this year. He had 2 punt returns for a touchdown. I'm not really sure why Buckeye Local punted to him, or maybe they just have a punter that can't directional punt or things like that. You never know. But, we're going to try to keep the ball away from him, obviously, punts and kickoffs and things like that, try to keep it away from him. But I think this year, we match up well with them up front. I really do. I think we can run the ball. They do have a really nice secondary, Pettigrew safety, so there's probably not getting too many deep balls by that guy. I think he might even have a younger brother on the team, is pretty fast. And then, they're both corners are pretty good, so their back end's pretty tough. I think up front is where we can kind of get them, run the ball a little bit, play action, move the pocket, things like that. So they do come out offensively, really, against Buckeye Local. They ran the ball. It was Pettigrew went out for some passes, but they ran the ball quite a bit. Play action, things like that. They were under center. They got a new offensive coordinator this year, so I don't know if he's changing things up. Then on defense, they run like it's 4-4, 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers. Like I said, they just keep Pettigrew back there deep, and that nothing's going to really get behind that guy. So, but I think both sides of the ball we match up well with them. So we just got to keep 22 in check.
Yeah. Does Pettigrew get many touches as far? I mean, carries. I know they throw the ball to him a lot, but.
Yeah, they do. They had him at like a wing and ran like a little reverse type counter thing with them. Didn't run the ball much with him. They ran some play action, things like that. But we didn't see what we saw last year against us. That doesn't mean we're not going to see it. We didn't see him out there catching the short passes and the little bubble screens and things like that. It was more looked like they kind of knew they were the better team, and they were just trying to work on some things. I mean, honestly, that's kind of what it looked like to me. Maybe not wanting to show a lot. Who knows? There could be many reasons, but he didn't really run the ball much. Like I said, just a few counters and reverse type plays, and mainly just he caught some long balls and punt returns. Yeah. Like I said, you got to know where that guy is, and obviously. We talk about that quite a bit, and we have Tucker Howe. He's our Pettigrew, so we put a 22 on him, and he runs all around. So that was our Pettigrew this week. So the kids know to be aware of him.
Yeah, absolutely, and no better guy to have back there than Tucker. Yeah, that's the closest thing we got.
That's right.
Right now, like you said, he's just an athlete. And I noticed last year he was a really good kid too.
He is. Really he was. Kid. He did seem like it. When he'd come over the sidelines, he was polite and would talk to you. And, so
even during the game, he was talking to us. This will be our first trip to Bellaire in quite some time, right?
Ever.
I don't remember.
I
other
think
than
it was
playing St. John's.
I think it was like pre-war when we played Bellaire, like in the 20s or 30s, something that far back. So like you said, I think we went there when we played St. John's, but that was the only time I've ever been there. So, and that was a day game, wasn't it? Pretty sure.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, so I mean, it should be interesting. They've got a ton of tradition down there. I mean, a ton. Just like us, they've got a YouTube channel and things like that. So it's a ton of tradition in Bellaire, and I look forward to last year, and I really look forward to going down there and see what they got.
Yeah, I think it was my junior or senior year. I went to that George Strager camp in St. Clairsville, and Joey Galloway was there.
Oh yeah,
I still have the George Strager Memorial Camp and Joey Galloway's autograph.
he was pretty fast too.
Yeah, he was pretty fast too. Yeah. So it's the first time we've been there. So I don't know. Maybe we can talk about this here in the wrap up of this episode. But I'm not sure where parking's at. I know it's pretty tight there.
No idea.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I get there early.
might have to leave early, folks. Leave early. So, okay, Coach. Well, I mean, I wish you the best of luck tomorrow night against Bellaire. We know what we're up against, and I'm sure Coach Shoemaker and Coach Baker have put their heads together and have a way or two or some thoughts on how to slow Pettigrew and that offense down.
Yeah, they definitely have.
Yeah. Let's take a short break, and when we return, we'll talk about. We'll wrap up the episode, and we'll talk about some important dates leading into tomorrow night and the upcoming week. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to wrap up tonight's show. Coach and I just talked. We think everybody knows where Bellaire's at, but not a whole lot to talk about this week since it's an away game. But it will be at Nelson Field in Bellaire. It's located on West 26th Street in Bellaire, Ohio. Coach and I talked a little bit about the parking. We're just not certain.
Yeah.
I think there's a Kroger across the street. It's got a big parking lot, but I'm not sure if they allow it.
They've got that front parking lot. I'm not sure if there's any behind the big stadium. I don't know, but the front parking lot by their practice field's not real big, so I don't know. Yeah,
so if you're watching the show and you're going to the game tomorrow night, you may want to leave a touch early. Make sure you get some parking. As far as some key dates, we really only have one coming up next week. Monday at home, the JV will play at 6 p.m.
Yep.
We don't have any
Against Bellaire.
against Bellaire.
Yep.
Yeah. We don't have any football mom stuff or sideliner stuff or no sausage sales. None of that to talk about.
Nope. 200 Club will be coming up soon.
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you that aren't in the 200 Club,
Contact one of us.
yeah, contact one of us. It's virtually our biggest fundraiser of the year, and that's what keeps this program alive in a sense. We do everything we can to take care of these kids and make it the best experience. Make this facility the best facility in the valley. It takes a lot of hard work to make this all come together, but with the hard work, you got to have a little money to do things as well. So, and like I said, every bit of it goes to the kids. The 200 Club is actually a great time.
It is.
It's a really good time. The 200 Club party is just a blast. We have all kind of giveaways, apparel, cash, free memberships. We have some side raffles. It's just a really good time to come out and hang out with other members. But if you are a member and you have anyone in mind, have them reach out to us.
Yep.
That's about it, Coach. You got any final comments?
Looking forward to it. I think these kids in this locker room want to prove tomorrow night that Bellaire didn't see Monroe Central football last year. I really do. I know that it was kind of the same last week. They wanted to prove to Liberty Union, what Monroe Central football was all about. So. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that, like I said, just seeing those kids go show really true Monroe Central football. So
yeah, and there's no doubt they're ready because those two young men that were on the show earlier, Jace and Bentley, had sat down and talked to them while we were getting set up, and there's a game plan.
Yeah.
And they know tendencies, and so there's been a lot of film watched, I'm certain, and these guys, they're ready.
They are.
They're ready. It's just comes down to tomorrow night putting it all together on the field for certain. But
Yes, sir.
if that's all you got, Coach, that's
all
a
I
wrap
got.
on this week's
That's all I
episode.
got.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for watching, and just a reminder, we'll be here next Thursday night, 9 o'clock. We'll preview our game against the Edison Wildcats. Go Noles.